A couple of weeks ago, when I did my original anticipated releases for 2026 video, I knew that we were in for an amazing reading year. I mean, Tiare Jones, um, Latoya Watkins, Clay Kane, like we just phenomenal year. And then they started announcing more. I don't know how I'm gonna read all of these books, but y'all are coming along with me. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Shelby in the Book Club. I'm Shelby Monet, and today we're going to talk about some more anticipated releases. Get your notebook, get some snacks, because this is going to be a long video. If you would like to pre-order any of the books that I mentioned in this video, everything will be linked down below in the underneath the bar. It is called the underneath the bar because it is where underneath of the video. Let's get into it for real. Okay, we're just going to get right into it. All the pictures of the covers will be on the screen with their release dates. This time, they might not be in order, but just, bear with me, okay? First up, we have Your Tomorrow Was Today. This is by Damola Dosunmu. Cousin, I'm sorry if I butchered that. This one says, a woman's evocative chronicle of modern womanhood, navigating love, family, and the radical desire to remain child-free in a patriarchal world. Karen has spent years building an independent life in the city, far from her fractured family, leaving no room for love until she receives news of her mother's sudden death. The devastating news unravels her carefully curated life as Karen grapples with painful memories, and the sister she left behind a decade ago. That's going to be interesting because my father passing also made me think I don't have no babies. I don't have no babies, but losing a parent will do that to you. So I'm curious to read that one. That comes out January 15th. Next, we have On Sunday She Picks Flowers. This book cover is phenomenal. Oh my gosh. So this one says, in the sinister and surreal Southern Gothic debut, a woman escapes into the uncanny woods of southern Georgia and must contend with ghosts, haunts, and most dangerous of all, the truth about herself. Maybe her family she's family full of witches. When Judith Rice fled her childhood home, she thought she'd severed her abusive mother's hold on her. She didn't have a plan or destination, just a desperate need to escape. Drawn to the forests of southern Georgia, Jude finds shelter in a house as haunted by its violent history as she is by her own. Jude embraces the intricacies of the dilapidated house, soothing its ghosts, haunts, honoring its blood-soaked land, and over the next 13 years, Jude blossoms from her bitter beginnings into a wise woman, a healer. But her hard-won peace is threatened when an enigmatic. I hate it back, damn it. It was fighting me. I hate it back. A woman shows up on her doorstep. The woman is beautiful but unsettling, captivating but uncanny. Ensnared by her desire for this stranger, Jude is caught off guard by brutal urges suddenly simmering beneath her skin as the woman stirs up memories of her escape years ago. I'm ready for it. That comes out January 2026. I, 27. I'm sorry. It's all right. Next, I have Every Happiness. This is by Rena Shah. Every Happiness is a dazzling debut that explores the ties that bind two women across decades and continents despite rivalry, class difference, and the conflicting needs of family and self. Deepa and Ruchi are 12 years old when they meet at their Catholic school in India, but their connection is swift and lasting. As the two girls grow up and face their family's expectations and the limits of their ambitions, their friendship is marked by intimacy, jealousy, and suppressed desire. When in their 20s, Deepa marries a doctor and moves from India to the suburbs of Connecticut. Ruchi quickly finds an engineer bound for the same state and follows her friend across the world. But life in the United States is different than either woman expects. Deepa's daughter seeks affection Deepa refuses to give, and Ruchi's son resists her smothering care. At the same time, Deepa and Ruchi find their closeness tested by a growing class disparity, competing family needs, and the differences in their desires. I'm liking that there are a lot of books coming out about friendship. This one comes out February 3rd. Ooh. The Great Wherever by Shannon Sanders. Now, Shannon Sanders had a collection of short stories come out a few years ago that I didn't really hear anybody talking about. So I'm really excited that she has this debut coming out, but I also would like you guys to read her collection of short stories too. So this is The Great Wherever. This comes out July 7th. The impulsive and heartbroken woman inherits her father's share of a Tennessee farm that is rich in family secrets and occupied with busybody ghosts in the sweeping family portrait. At 32, Aubrey Lamb is stumbling into adulthood. An underpaid gig worker in Washington, D.C., she's grieving the end of a serious relationship and the recent loss of her father. Somebody got cameras in here? When Aubrey learns that she has inherited his share stake in a sizable Tennessee farm from her father, she sees an opportunity to get out of the city and to erase a mounting pile of debt. Watching her arrival with great interest are four ghosts, Aubrey's ancestors, who've staked their own claims to the farm and whom never hesitate to pass judgment on the mistakes made by the living, whether romantic, financial, or sartorial. As Aubrey reconnects with her living family, another story unfolds in parallel. The history of the land beginning with its purchase by Thomas, Aubrey's great-grandfather, and one of the first Black landowners in his community. Though Thomas hopes to give his children a homestead on which they could flourish, the land proves to be a burdensome inheritance. Over the years, it divides the family, turning Thomas's descendants against one another, culminating in a catastrophic tragedy that splinters the family and echoes through decades. I'm very interested in that. And like I said, that comes out July 7th. Next, Walter Mosley has a new book coming out, and he talked about this when we went to go see him last year. So it's called Galen, Romance in Black. Now y'all know who Galen is. Galen is in my mind Forever from Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. So the name alone, I would like to read it. A stellar addition to the Amistad list, a beautiful coming of age novel from MWA Grandmaster and Penn and Edgar Award winner Walter Mosley that explores love in all forms, romantic, familial, and platonic, centered on one Black family, including a neurodivergent man and the found bonds that helps ground them. I'm very, very interested in this because when he originally started talking about it, he said that it was going to be a romance in the original sense of the genre. So I'm very, very, very curious. That comes out May 26th. Next, we have Leave Your Mess at Home. This is by Tolani Akinola. Akinola. This says Sola Long, eldest daughter, estranged from the family, is secretly back home in Chicago for the first time in a decade. She's newly single and recently disgraced influencer trying to quietly put her life back together again. The other three Long siblings aren't doing much better. Enola and Yola is in love with her best friend, who just got engaged to someone else. Karen, a college junior and the baby of the family, is grappling with her sexuality and self-image. And Ola, the golden child with a baby of his own on the way, is questioning his marriage and how to raise a Black son in America. Sola's unexpected return sets them on a crash course towards each other. And when the four siblings find themselves together again at their Nigerian immigrant parents' Thanksgiving table, a decade's worth of secrets and a lifetime of resentments explode to the fore. I'm envisioning um a story that is going to be set around this dinner table. And I'm very, very interested in how this is going to be written. Because that sounds like a very good time. Then we have, I didn't tell you when that comes out. That's April 14th. Then we have Take What You Can. This is by Naima Coster. This cover is giving 90s Black literature vibes, and I absolutely love it. So this says Val and Millie fell in love with France. At the same time, they fell in love with each other and became immediate best friends. Then they bonded as the only Black students on a study abroad trip. Now they're in their 30s, each married and with a baby girl on the way. When Millie suggests Val move to New York to raise her daughters together after a decade apart, it is a resounding yes. Despite their excitement, the pair secretly wonder if their friendship has always worked best as a trio. From the first trip to France, these two motherless daughters were taken under the wing of an older woman named Helen. She showered them with money, love, and attention and showed them the possibilities of a meaningful future. But without Helen, who are Millie and Val? Hmm, that sounds interesting. That comes out July 7th. Next, honey. This cover is calling my name so bad. I've also been in a creepy spooky mood. So this is by Imani Thompson. It says she just wants to know what justice feels like. Don't we all, cousin? Yersa is bored with her PhD program, her entitled students, and the never-ending pages of racial violence and feminist theory she has to read. But most of all, she's bored with the men in her life, especially the bad ones. And then one sunny afternoon, she accidentally kills one. Jesus Christ. Suddenly, a problematic professor is dead, and Yersa, well, she's no longer bored. Emboldened, she starts to chase the high, and soon no misbehaving sexist man within commuting distance is safe. Finally, Yersa's academic research feels useful, but how long can killing in the name of feminist and radical solidarity justify her actions, and how long will her actions and buried family secrets come back to unravel? This comes out May 5th. It's only 384 pages too. So I want to know how this is going to, like, is this going to be written as well thought out as I hope, as I need for it to be. Next, we have I'll Watch Your Baby. This is by Nina Veal, I believe it is. A blurb by Victor Laval. Y'all know I love him. So it says 1974. Lottie Turner is already infamous, running a wheel of schemes and scams. She's willing to work for what she wants in creative ways. But no business is more lucrative than desperate families looking to adopt a child. I know that's not what you're about to say to me. And there's only one way to procure children quickly. And the only way to take what's owed you is to cross the line no one is willing to cross. Let me email them and see if I can get an advance copy by tonight. Because what do you mean, sister? What do you mean? 1994. Bless has finally found the family she deserved. After suffocating slowly with lackluster parents and a non starter, she's found the friends that mean everything to her, that she live and die for. As they make their way across the country, one smash and grab at a time, Bless is used to acting fast and thinking on her feet. But someone is playing a long game. Someone has unfinished business. Soon, Bless is trapped in a web of horrors, past and present, where the only escape hatch is a path only she can walk if she finds the courage to take it. Yeah, I need this one. By who dear publishers, if you are watching this, I want this one. Who is publishing this? I have questions that need answers. Like what? St. Martin's Griffin. Okay. I'm gonna have to something. Cause what? Okay, Tiffany D. Jackson has a new book coming. Another YA. So it says Savannah, Georgia is a city on edge when 12-year-old Harmony arrives with her blues musician father for a summer gig. The recent disappearance of a local boy remains unsolved, and the trail has gone cold, leaving the simmering community without answers or closure. Savannah, with its mossy trees and ornate old homes, is also a place rich in history and ghosts. Ghosts are what pique Harmony's interest. Still reeling from her losses back home, Harmony wants to believe in ghost stories, but isn't sure what's real. When she goes on one of many ghost tours around town, she takes a photo of what might be a ghost, or is it a hoax? As Harmony and her new friends look into the truth behind the ghost picture, they stumble into a dangerously tangled web of ambition, lies, and murder. Sounds good to me. Y'all know how I feel about Tiffany Jackson. Tiffany Jackson. The scammer had me by the neck. So I will be reading this. Whatever she say. And that comes out August 4th. Ooh, the day before my mommy's birthday. Next, These Walls Remember. This is by Del Sandine, who I absolutely love. She wrote the This Cursed House, which phenomenal read. So it says, do not go into the attic. You don't have to tell me twice. Because if I was the main character in a lot of these stories, the book would be over after page 1. She walks into a room, she saw a sign on the door that said don't open it, and she turned around and she left. That's it, that's all. So, do not go into the attic, the note warned, but that's exactly what sisters Mickey and Delilah do when they inherit a distant relative's house in Savannah, Georgia. Everybody gonna die. They intend to sell the property, divide the proceeds, and go their separate ways once and for all. But 724 Hartford Street has other plans. That's it. That's all I need to know. It comes out August 18th. Because that house is going to turn them every way but loose. Because that's what happened in This Cursed House. It turned them every way but loose. Next, we have Our Sister's Keeper. This is by Jasmine Holmes. So it says Mississippi 1927. The groanings are coming. What does that mean? No town is perfect, but East Cobb comes close. It's a wealthy all black free town, untouched by white oppression. How do I get there? Where ambitious Thea Elliott and her husband plan to make good on their big dreams. Little do they know that the idyllic town teems with ghoulish walking nightmares that only the women can see. That sounds like present day. You know how much stuff only women go through? Only women have to ignore. I need it. June 9th. June 9th. Next, by one of my favorites, Deshaun Charles Winslow. Hey, friend. He has a new book coming out June 9th. This is The Fervent Whites. I don't even really care what the synopsis say. I'm going to read it anyway. He is a phenomenal author, and he is one of those authors that I just don't hear spoken about often. Like, what do I have to do? Do I need to stand outside with a sign and tell y'all to read my friend's books? The year is 1982, and the people of Fervent on Hudson have begun to move on from a local double homicide that upended the once quiet town. But when their former neighbors, James and Ella White, are proven innocent of the murders, released from prison, and sent back to Fervent, some people have cause for concern. Sylvia Upshaw and her best friend, Lafayette Fate Jolly, are uneasy about the Whites' return. While the Whites were incarcerated, Sylvia revealed an explosive secret to the Whites' adopted son, Morgan, and during their trial, Fate's testimony hindered their case. James and Ella won't let the betrayal go unpunished. Sylvia and Fate quickly become victims of harassment from the Whites, and when another murder is committed on Fervent, the town is left to fend for themselves. He write a good story. He write a good story. I might tell you a joke, but I ain't never gonna tell you what? A lie. Okay? Um, Jasmine Ward has a book coming out. You mean to tell me that Jesmyn Ward, Latoya Watkins, and Tayari Jones all have books coming out in the same year? And Disha Phil, y'all? Huh? What is it like to be blessed and highly favored? Ask me because I know. Ask me. I know. I'm witnessing despair. Despair noun, it means fresh hope after despair. From the two-time National Book Award winner and New York Times bestselling author Jesmyn Ward, this collection of essays documents more than a decade of work in the life of a singular writer, often lauded as the heir apparent to Toni Morrison. I mean, yes, yes. Beginning with her upbringing in a multi-generational household in rural Mississippi, the cradle of both her youth and her gift for storytelling, Ward brings her keen wisdom and hauntingly lyrical prose to a range of topics, following her grandmother Dorothy's footsteps when she promises to always to tell it straight, tell it all. I've said this time and time again. Jesmyn Ward could write her grocery list on a balled up McDonald's receipt, and I would take it out the garbage and read it. And that comes out May 19th. I will be front row and center. If she is going on tour, I will be there. I mean, if the stars would actually like to align, I'd be interviewing her. But anyway, Tia Williams also has a new book coming out that may or may not be a book club pick. I don't know. You should join my book club. Did you know I had a book club? Now you know. Discord link is in the underneath bar. This, oh, the misconnection. I keep calling it this misconnection. I just be making stuff up. Sasha Cruz knows types. As a booked and busy casting agent, she's always casting at happy hour, the post office, the grocery store, everywhere. She's all about finding the perfect person to slot into the perfect role. What she doesn't do, however, are relationships. Too much energy, not enough time. Men find her intimidating. Girl, tell me about it. And she likes it that way. And also, I like being a big dog. But when Sasha's seat next to a mysterious, broodingly handsome Italian man on the way to a work trip in Paris, this is about Tia Williams and her husband. Sparks fly, but they miss the chance to exchange contact information. Now convinced that she's lost out on her soulmate, Sasha is on a manhunt to find CF. I love this. I love it. I love it real bad. This comes out June 16th. Fairfield County. This is by Delana R.A. Dameron. Sorry if I mispronounced that. She actually recently just passed away. She is the author of acclaimed Redwood Court, which was Arisa's book club pick. So it says a sprawling landscape of sand, red clay, and pine trees. South Carolina's Fairfield County is the only place the Bolton family has ever called home. For more than a century, they have cultivated this land, expertly raising horses to compete in derbies and rodeos and passing their knowledge from generation to generation. But after a devastating tragedy, Dwayne, the next inheritor of the Bolton legacy, buries his family history, particularly from his daughter. Unlike her father, Nikki is a proud horsewoman with no knowledge of her family's connection to the part of her life she's most passionate about. But when a series of events threatens to sever father and daughter from the only land they've ever known, Dwayne is forced to confront his past so that Nikki can step into her future. Very, very interested in that. Next, I think this is pronounced Weebay. And have you ever watched The Wire? Because Weebay. A portrait of three women connected through one man in the aftermath of his murder. I signed me up because who killed and why? What did he do? And did he do it to the three ladies? Bertie Chang didn't know anything about Weebay Island when she chose it, only that it was as far away as she could get from her own life. She's a woman on the run, desperate for an escape, so she killed. From the headlines back home and the look of concern in her girlfriend's eyes, and from Calvin Boyer, the man who abused her as a child and who's now resurfaced. On her way, she has an unnerving encounter with a stranger on the ferry who offers her a proposition, a sinister solution, and a plan for revenge. That comes out March 10th. Well, like, what kind of revenge? But Birdie isn't the only girl Calvin harmed back then. There's also Lindsay King, a former reality TV star who recently wrote all about it in her best-selling memoir. Though the two women have never met, their stories intertwine. Ooh, they gonna kill him. Ooh. And last but certainly not least, I did a video talking about authors I would like more books from, and I put Latoya Watkins on there because Parrish and Holler Child both are books that changed me um deeply. And they are a part of the reason why I'm so fascinated by generational trauma and how things are passed down from generation to generation and so many other things. And 2 weeks later, the Book of Chuck was announced. Yes, immediately. So it says set across Texas and spanning 4 generations, the Book of Chuck is a gimlet-eyed investigation into birthright and belonging from the story of one family in which certain members have clairvoyant powers. Oh, they're witches. Ah, ah. Pod no go and burn. When baby Nanny utters these prophetic words in 1936, she marks herself as cursed. The ability to see death before it happens never changes the course of her life. Happens forever changes the course of her life and the lives of her descendants. Oh, this is going to, oh. It comes out August 18th. And no, I'm not making it a book club pick because I need to read that by myself. I need to read it by myself. I know that already. I'm not waiting for y'all. I'm going to do it by myself, and then I'm going to come on here and I'm going to sit in front of this camera and I'm going to scream. Latoya Watkins? What? Let me know in the comments, will you be reading any of these? What are you most excited about? If there's anything that I didn't mention, let me know because I would like to know about all the books that are being released. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, if no one has told you today, I love you. You are kind, you are smart, you are important. If no one else, to me. Bye, friends.